So what is the difference in the different anomalies, different congenital anomalies of the foot? So we have clubfoot, which is medically known as congenital talipes equinovarus. We also have metatarsus adductus, and we have positional talipes. So what do these terms entail? For example, clubfoot looks like this. So this is a bird's eye perspective of the foot, and we have the forefoot and the hind foot. So the frontal part of the foot made up of the metatarsal phalanges, and the hind foot made up of the heel or the calcaneus, the talus, and the navicular bone. So in the case of the clubfoot, differentially, if we have to make these 3 points distinct, the clubfoot is characterized by rigidity plus this mnemonic, the cave mnemonic. So what does that mean? We have cavus. That means we will have a big metatarsal arch on the soles of our feet. Adductus, that means that the forefront of the foot will go medially. So the front part of the foot will go medially. The varus, that means the hind part of the foot will go medially. Equinus, coming from the Latin word for horse, pretty much means that if this is my shoe, imagine the times when you were small and you walked around the house in your older parents or older brothers, sisters' shoes or sneakers, and it will look like this pretty much. So you wouldn't have stability and you would go on your tippy toes because the shoes would just be too big for you. So equinus is pretty much the lack of dorsiflexion. So clubfoot has these four with equinus, the Latin term for horse, because that's how a horse walks. And it's actually so it's a lack of dorsiflexion. So let's go back to the beginning. We have clubfoot, we have metatarsus adductus, and positional talipes. So I said we have this mnemonic. Do we need to have all of these for us to have the classical clubfoot congenital deformity? No. The first thing we need to have is rigidity, and the rigidity in clubfoot comes from the rigidity based on the deformation of the bones, ligaments, and tendons. So it's not just the soft tissues, as is the case in these two. So this is the hard tissues, as we may say. So the bones, ligaments, and tendons, like the metatarsal, the calcaneus, etc., they're all deformed. Do we need to have all of these four again? No. Though we must have rigidity. So a child comes with suspect feet that are pointing inwards, and what do? Passiflexion. If we cannot move them with passiflexion at all, then that's the first criteria for clubfoot or congenital talipes equinovarus. How do we distinguish clubfoot from these two? These two will have possibility of dorsiflexion. What is dorsiflexion? So that is going backwards, able to flex in the dorsal direction. In more detail, the metatarsus adductus, which is most common out of these three, so it is the most common, it can have three variants. It can be able to be flexed, overextended, extended, and to be quite rigid as well. But this rigidity will subside over time. And we have positional talipes, which is a short-lived phenomena, which is a result of the in utero. So what does in utero mean? Inside the pregnant lady's tummy, the baby is squished and mashed, positioning during pregnancy, so in utero, and these forces will act on the soft tissues, not on the bones, on the soft tissues, and this will subside in a period of weeks after pregnancy. So we're doing this all pretty much to just distinguish this, because this is the dangerous one. Why? Clubfoot must be acted upon quickly. So when this is recognized, it goes through the Ponseti bracing, and if that doesn't help in 50% of cases, we will use surgery. But this is only effective in the first 3 to 6 months of life. Later on, it gets much, much harder. Clubfoot is also associated with the male sex. It is much more common in Pacific Islanders, so people from, if we're talking about the United States, from Hawaii, or maybe Pacific Islands like Fiji, Samoa, Toga, etc. Whereas these two will spontaneously, in most cases, spontaneously resolve themselves.